like the tapioca balls. Why are you at a boba place? That's literally the bubbles. Anyway, I'm at the art museum today. I don't like this camera angle. I'm at the art museum today. Probably my favorite way of actually practicing drawing and sketching is being on location and being able to see the object that I'm drawing from different angles and physically interacting with it instead of just staring at a 2D photo the entire time. So we're gonna sit at the art museum and probably pick one subject, put a lot of effort in, more effort into it, and see how it comes out. So I normally start my sessions, they're normally free flowing. I'm not really thinking too much about it. I kind of just browse around and actually just check my options. Probably the first thing when I'm observing a subject is I kind of build a 3D mental model in my mind that's easy for me to translate and put to paper. So what I mean by that is whenever I'm observing, I always kind of make some judgments. I start thinking about angles and points and comparing the points that I see physically and then adding those points into my sketchbook and building around that, and then start thinking about objects and its shape, and then based off the shape then I start thinking about form. But when it comes to shape and form, I'm also thinking about both at the same time. So it really depends on what your process is, and the more you do it, you will start having your own ideas of how you actually tackle a subject. But the main thing about this is you have to do it. That's the only way. In order to get better at it, you legit just have to do it. So it is what it is. And the good thing about the art museum here, there's a lot of things to draw, and it is free. So if you're ever in the St. Louis, USA, be sure to check out our free museum. For this particular session, I wanted to warm my hands up. I ended up seeing this cool looking sculpture. The thing that really fascinated me about this sculpture was the symmetry. And there were 4 birds that was basically all symmetrical with the entire body itself, and then within that body there was another body, and then within that body there was a head. So all of those things were perfectly symmetrical, and I was really drawn to that. So I sat there. I wanted to give myself only like 10 minutes, but apparently 30 minutes passed, and I kind of just sat there and sketched it away. So for the main sketch that I was going to spend most of my time drawing, it was this statue of a Buddhist figure. I forgot which one. It's not really Buddha themselves. It was another figure within that religion. I just liked the way it was gazing down upon me as I walked past it. What I wanted to do differently with this drawing was actually, it was sitting on this huge like box like structure. And most of the time when I'm drawing these individual objects and subjects, I kind of just stick to the subject itself and not really drawing things that's around it, or if it's sitting on top, I just kind of have it floating in my sketchbook. But this time I wanted to actually tackle it sitting on the box and actually interacting with that space as well. It actually wasn't as hard as I thought it'd be. The perspective was pretty simple, actually. I know sometimes it may feel like drawing on location could be something super scary because there's people walking around and everything, but me personally, I never really had a bad experience drawing on location. I normally have really good experiences, especially when it comes to like onlookers and things. Most of the time, they normally just compliment you. So I never really had somebody walk by and say, "Yo, it's trash." Like the chances of that happening is pretty low, honestly. Honestly, that is a pretty good boost and really keeps you going with the habit of drawing on location, and it makes you want to do it even more. So that's also another reason why I do enjoy just drawing on location, is being able to interact with other people, because there's definitely been times where I've had full-blown 2-hour conversations with people just talking about drawing, and then we eventually just start talking about life and everything else. You just meet a lot of different people and get a different perspective other than your own. So now, some tips for actually drawing on location that I find useful is, number one, I always kind of sit back and observe before you actually touch pen to paper. When I first started drawing on location, I kind of just sat down and then started rushing the drawing. when you're rushing those drawings, you kind of just get in the moment and things aren't really aligning right, or you get the shapes wrong and things. So I really try to sit back more now and actually do the pre-drawing in my mind, where I actually sit down, observe the subject, and then think about the primitives, think about the spatials, think about the angles, the perspective, kind of think about all of that beforehand. And it really doesn't take that long. I normally spend maybe, depending on the subject, most of the time it's maybe about 2 to 3 minutes once I'm sitting down to actually do the drawing. Once I put pen to paper, it's more so just going through the motions, really. And while the motion's happening, sometimes you're gonna have, not even sometimes, all the time, you're gonna have to move things, adjust things, and change stuff up. So it's all part of the process. My next tip is really about comfortability, and when I say that, I mean that in a very physical way. Now, oftentimes I have to do a lot of body checks, check the posture, check your arm posture and neck posture and all that good stuff. Because once you start feeling pain within your body, it's gonna be a detriment within your drawing and sketch as well. So periodically check how your body's feeling. Make sure your back's not hurting too much. If you need to get up and stretch, make sure you do that. Always check the body first, because as long as the body's feeling good, you're just gonna, the entire process is just gonna feel good after that. Now, I say this especially if you're new to drawing on location, because if your body has some level of discomfort while you're also kind of having a bit of trouble during the actual drawing, where things might not look the way you want it to look, the body and the experience, the feeling of your body and the experience of drawing starts to blend together, and now you kind of associate that pain with the struggle of your drawing. So you want to make sure you're constantly checking in on your body, making sure you release some of that tension within your wrists, your arms, your back, and your legs, and all of that good stuff. So make sure you get up, stretch, move around a little bit, and make sure you're checking on the body, and just release a lot of that tension that you have. That is probably my biggest tip. Overall, all drawing on location is still thinking about the usual techniques. I'm always thinking about form. I'm always thinking about perspective and spatial relationships and angles and all that stuff. That's what I put a lot of focus on. And then later into the drawing, that's where I start practicing more of the rendering techniques. But especially, I'm always thinking about piecing things together cohesively and trying to improve upon that constantly. So that's normally what I'm focused on whenever I'm drawing from location, at all times, period. The most cliche tip of them all is have fun with it. I always like to try some small things out. It's always about just having fun with it. I always treat it like a video game. It's always, this is another match in League of Legends, or this is just another game of Apex, or whatever. When you're out drawing, make sure you still kind of be aware of your surroundings. But that's the beauty of drawing itself, is because when you're observing, you're always looking at your surroundings. So when you got your head down and you got pen to paper, make sure you constantly look up, know what's around you, because you never know. And I'm from the Lou, you feel me? They might have to run up, you feel me? You just gotta know. Always keep the head on a swivel. Always keep your head on a swivel tight. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you're new here, please make sure you hit the subscribe button. I'm trying out a lot of different video content. I got a lot of ideas that I'm gonna be putting out. So drawing videos and sketching videos and educational content, if that's something that you're interested in, make sure y'all hit that subscribe button. If you have experience yourself drawing from life, let me know as well, because I might pick up something from you as well. But leave that down in the comment section. Till next time, y'all, deuces.